Doodle Facebook page, all at the same time. It's all fun. Okay, go. So that's what we'll do. Craig, you just give me the thumbs up whenever we're good to go. And I see some comments coming through already about what you want me to use. So that's exciting. Yay! All right, so hopefully we're already live on other channels. Cool. Hello everybody, my name is Lesley Oman from Heffy Doodle, and we have a brand new release coming. Our release day is the 10th of July. However, what you need to know is that we are already open for pre-orders. And if you place a pre-order on our website, that's heffydoodle.com/shop, or just go to heffydoodle.com, you'll figure it out from there. You can get a free stamp set. It's a Hey There stamp set. Let me grab it actually, so that you can have a little look at what it looks like. Here it is. So this is the stamp set that you will get free. Can I zoom? There we go. If you place a pre-order between now and the 10th, so that's the next 5 days. If your order is over £45 before shipping, you will get the stamp and the die that matches it. And the real fun thing about this freebie is that it coordinates really well with some of the stamps that are in our newest release, specifically the Happily Ever Crafter stamp set. But we'll get to that in just a minute. So I'm going to pop these over here, and I want to run you guys through the new release because it is bigger than ever. I think I'm a little bit crazy doing such big releases. Maybe I need to dial that back a little bit, Craig. But you guys seem to be enjoying it, so yeah, what's the harm? So first of all, let me show you this stamp and die set. This is called Absolutely Awesome. So I really wanted to do fairies. Trying to stop the glare here. I really wanted to do fairies, but I wanted to do tooth fairies because my daughter is at an age where she is losing teeth. Ranger's losing teeth as well, mind you. And also, I don't think I've ever seen a tooth fairy stamp before. There's lots of fairies out there, but I thought it would be fun to have a tooth fairy stamp set. Also, one of the ladies in our design team is a dental nurse, so it was really fun to do that whenever it was a bit of an inside joke with her. So in the stamp set, you get these 3 cute little fairies, and then there's the handwritten word fairy, and also you are absolutely awesome. You will see over here that there is a die for the word fairy, which I always love doing that. I love embossing this either with white on colored cardstock or indeed with colored embossing powder. I think it looks awesome. And then you can dye and then you can add or mix and match these sentiments with the word fairy to get different sentiment combos. So you've got thank you very much, I miss you very much, I love you so very much. So those are a couple of different combos so that you can use them for different cards. We're a bit glary, Craig, can we dip some lights or something? And then we've also got Ain't That the Tooth? But there's one element in this die set that I really wanted to draw attention to because I wanted, you guys that watch my Come Craft With Me Friday night stream will know that I love making Chibitronics cards, light up cards. So this little die here is what I wanted to show you. There is a circle in the middle, and then there's these 5 little strokes, I guess, for want of a better word. And let me show you here what that will do. So can you see here, I've just used the die on its own. Thank you, Craigie. Here as well. And then here I've used it behind the wand. And when I press this love heart here, I have, thank you, Craigie, it lights up like this. How cool is that? Yay! So this little die is going to be of great use to those of you who like to create light up cards, even if it's not with the fairy stamps and dies. All right, so that is absolutely awesome. And if you love this, then you might also want to check out over on the Heffy Doodle shop that we have a new card making kit. I don't have it here to show with you today, but I will do another video about it. And the card making kit includes the stamps, The dies are optional, so those of you who have got a scan and cut, perhaps don't want to spend the money on the dies, then you can choose to have the kit without the dies. Although I quite like the way that you get the internal cuts on the words and also this fun little die, because you won't be able to cut that with a scan and cut. So as well as the stamps and the dies, you get one of our stencils, which is called the Twinkle Twinkle Stencil, which I shall magically produce from over here. Here it is. So this is Twinkle Twinkle. I think it looks absolutely gorgeous, and this is going to be in the kit, and you're going to get some beautiful holographic embossing powder, all sorts of fun things that are going to be beautiful when assembling cards in the kit. So that's the absolutely awesome, the Twinkle Twinkle stencil. Another little thing I wanted to show you, if I can find it, is our tooth plush die. So this is one of our first plush dies. And you have a die to cut out a tooth shape. So this is probably a little bit different, but I just loved it so much. I thought it was so cute. I had lots of ideas for it, but I wanted to be able to create a little felt tooth. I thought that was so sweet. So what I did was create an additional die that nestles in the inside with those holes in it, so that you can put your floss in and out and sew around the outside. So this is die cut with some white felt, and then I just sewed around it with my white floss, and then die cut the little face in here as well. And you can see that the two eyes are connected. Can you see? Let me zoom in a little bit. The two eyes are connected, and then there's little bumps in between on this band in between, and that's where you want to line up the face, and with a gap just like you have here. So the other thing that you can do, if I can find it, here we go, with the tooth die, as well as create a cute little guy like this, is I made a card with a little felt tooth on the front, and I used the optional holes with some partial die cutting, so that there's holes just about 2/3 of the way up. And then what that meant is I could put a dollar bill in there. So perhaps if you have somebody that loses a tooth, then you can leave them some money. Maybe the tooth fairy will leave them some money. Here's another fun way to use this die. We've put this stamp set on the front here, and on the inside we have a spinning element with that tooth on it. Isn't it fun? And you can see also that we have used the little fairies. We've got some of these elements like the toothbrush and toothpaste and the coin. And in the background here is one of our previous stencils. That is the Zap-A-Tact stencil. Yay! So that's that. Let me also show you what I'm really excited about. Hopefully I have lifted it off the... Here we go. This is our Clyde Border Dies. Yay! I love a scene building card, and I've been really wanting some Clyde Border Dies. I do have some in my stash from other companies. So when I was creating these, I try to make them a little bit different because, you know, I don't think you can have enough Clyde Border Dies. These ones do have stitching below and above the cut line, and I like the way this one dips down. I think it gives a different kind of effect. And I've also used that one in the inside here to create the clouds on my card here. I've also used it on this one, which I showed you earlier, up at the top and down at the bottom here as well. So that is the Silver Lining Clyde Border Dies. Now, for those of you that loved our Cityscape stencil, then you definitely want to check out this stencil. Yay! So this is called Cloudy Skies stencil, And if I show you this one, actually, you'll be able to see a lot better if I hold it still. You have these little connectors here, and those actually are just for stabilizing the stencil in the manufacturing process. What you need to do when you get your stencil is take a pair of scissors or a craft knife if you have a steady hand and snip away these connectors so that you have these holes, this slit along here. So now what you can do is you can actually take your card and slide it up between or behind the slit, slide it into the slit, and then you can ink either on top or below. And we've also added some smaller cloud bumps on the top and the bottom just to give you even more options for making your card. Now, this is one thing that I've done, and it is completely optional, is for this card I've actually snipped along one side for these top two, and that means that I could just point it down at an angle on my card a lot easier, like this, if I wanted to. You can completely cut it apart if you really want, but I like the way that you can slide it up and then ink in there. So that's our Cloudy Skies stencil. I think that's going to be a popular one. And we also have got 2 Heffy Cuts dies which go along with this collection. So we have the word fairy. This is a slightly larger size compared to the word fairy that's in the stamp set, but there's so many fairy stamps out there that are all beautiful, and I love to have the word fairy to go along with it. There's some wonderful sentiments there. We also have the word magical. I wonder, can I flip this? I'm not sure this is going to work. Bear with me. Yay! Okay, so this is the word magical, and this works really well with the fairies, but also works really well with our, works really well with the next stamp set. So let me show you that. Here it is. Lucy says, love those clouds. They will be purchased at some point. You got to save up your pennies. So this stamp set, I mentioned on one of my lives before that Piper, my 8-year-old daughter, often comes up with wonderful ideas for stamp sets, whether it is the actual stamp set itself or the name of it. And this one was one that was named by her. So this one is called Happily Ever Crafter. And it is wedding themed, but we wanted to make it a bit more generic, a bit more like a princess and a prince theme, so that you can have that versatility to use it in whichever way you wish. So we have got a very dapper young man up here, and then an adorable little cute down here, and then a carriage here. Now if I bring in your freebie, you're going to see how that's going to work absolutely beautifully with this stamp set. You're gonna need, if you're getting this, you're definitely gonna need that. We've got the carriage. We also have a top hat for this little guy, a bouquet of flowers, a flag for the top of your palace, and a little tiara for the lady. And then this element here is actually a veil. Now you could stamp on this and cut it out of vellum and put it on top of her face. The way I like to do it best is actually to cut it out, stamp it, cut it out, and layer it behind her, so it looks like the veil is behind her. It looks absolutely beautiful and really sweet, and you're going to love creating your own bride and groom in that way. For our sentiments, we've got 2 hand scripted, one that says princess and one that says magical, and then a collection of more basic fonts here to build up your sentiments. I wanted to once again draw attention to one little sneaky down here. In the palace die, there is actually a cut line along where the door is. So it doesn't go all the way along, it goes along the bottom, up the side to the point, and then halfway down to here, and then there's a crease line. So what that means is you can actually open up the door and have something in there, whether it's a push button for lighting up something, or maybe a little love heart. Somebody suggested writing like I do. I thought that was really sweet. The other thing that we have is a die cut here to cut out the inside of the heart. You may wish to have this as a flat piece, but if you wanted to have something peeking out of the carriage, it would be fun to have that window, as it were. So there is an optional die here for the heart. If you always want to cut it out, just leave it intact. Don't snip this away. But you have the choice. The choice is yours. So that is Happily Ever Crafter. I don't think I have any samples with that one as yet. And then we also have the word princess. And I like this. Let me just flip over. Nope, wrong one. Princess. Here we go. The great thing about this one is that you can actually cut away the SS and have the word prince. So it gives you a lot of options there if you wanted to go down that route. We also have the word celebrate. This is perfect for birthdays, but I was thinking more of weddings, anniversaries, things like that. The word celebrate, I think, is going to be a really popular one because it's so versatile. All right, let's see what else we've got that we can show you. Somebody mentioned these earlier, so I will just talk about them now. This is called Quack Me Up. And to be honest, I would love a few puddles right now because it is warm over here. We've got these sweet little duckies, and we've introduced this kind of fun font to our collection. A bit more whimsical with a combination of the basic Heffy Doodle font. So we've got these cute little ducks obviously causing mischief, an umbrella with a sweet bear face on it, and then a puddle and some clouds and a beautiful sunshine. We've got also a couple of sentiments that work really well with this stamp set. I've put a trio of, like a solid image of a trio of rain droplets here. And you will see that there is here a die to cut them out. But the other thing we've included is a die to be used without the stamp. So you can just have rain droplets, apertures, like little holes in the card. And I think that will give a really interesting effect. So that is Quack Me Up. Let me show you some more stencils that I missed out. There we go. This is a fun, a kind of basic stencil, but I think it's going to be one that is well loved. This is called Steady Heart Stencil. And it's a perfect little size for creating some tone-on-tone inking. You could even use some small blending brushes or blending tools to do them different colors. I think that's going to be awesome. So that is Steady Heart Stencil. And we have got, there we go, hearts in this stencil. Now, when I was over in America, I picked up some pixie spray. I'm not sure if you guys have seen it. It's a spray adhesive that you can use with your stencils. It gives a real nice hold. And it's perfect for the more fragile stencils just like this. So you're definitely going to want to play with these, I think, if you have some pixie spray. So this is Scribble on My Heart. It creates a gorgeous background. You're going to love it. All right, what else have we got in my stash? Aha, right, I've got two in here. Let me take it out. This stencil is perfect for our cute little duckies. This stencil is called Rain on My Parade. And whenever I designed this, there was way more rain. And the design team and I worked together to get it to the right consistency. In the end, I almost changed the name to A Light Drizzle because there was way more water droplets. But our concept was you can actually just use it, move it along, and use it again and again if you want to create more rain. So that way you can get exactly the amount of rainfall that you really want. So that's Rain on My Parade. It's going to be beautiful with ink, but also with like a translucent embossing paste. I think that's going to be so fun. I wanted also to mention we're introducing some more larger dies. You guys loved our Imperial Stitch Rectangles and our Metric Stitch Rectangles for our European and international friends. And these here are our stitched hearts dies. And the great thing about it is that this beast here is the perfect size to create a card from that size. If I hold up, this is a 5.5 by 4.25, so it's slightly wider because we wanted to make sure it had a nice heart shape, but it is the 5.5 inches wide. I think it's a really fun, it'll fit in a square envelope perfectly. So that's our stitched circles. And I have more in here to show you. Oh yes, I haven't showed this one yet. Okay, this here is our heart gift card pocket. So you have 2 dies for this little guy. Let me take it out so I can show you. You have this one here and this one here. So when you cut these out, you will get a faint line. That is your guide for where you want to crease. And you will get the best results if you actually use a bone folder to crease that. That's just really a guide. The risk is if we have a deeper line, it might actually cut through thinner paper if you're using it for something like vellum. So if you crease along here, and then the same with this when you crease along the bottom, you fold this little guy up and fold these ones in so that it comes together like this, and these are folded over the back. And then over on this side, you have a heart with these 2 flaps, and the 2 flaps fold up like this, and then they slide inside this slit. So it will actually hold itself closed. And it is the perfect size for a gift card. You're gonna love it. Now, this comes with the stitching on the front panel, but I designed it in a way that there was loads of space left on the plate when I was making the die. So as some additional add-ons, I've put a little scallop rectangle that you could place on the front. And then we have a trio of hearts. And then here we have a heart and then a heart frame. So you could use these together. You could layer them up. That's fun. Or you can use them separately or use them on other projects. But I thought it would be really fun to have a gift card holder with maybe a heart shape in it, so you're peeking through and you can see what the gift card is for. So this little guy is the heart gift card pocket die. Yeah. Stacy says, I've seen my Scrap Mania order has already shipped. Yes, it has. And I will say, Stacy, that I crammed as many cards in there as I could, but I'll send you more afterwards because I needed to show all these guys some of the cards because I did give you 3 or 4, I think. So needed to make sure these guys could have a look as well. All right. Somebody is saying stitched circles. So lucky for you, stitch circles actually were introduced in our last release. If you haven't seen them, you want to go and check them out. But we have introduced this time stitched ovals. This was a special request from one of our design team members. She begged me and begged me for stitched ovals. And I finally was like, okay, fine. These are a beautiful size. You can create frames, but we wanted to keep the aspect ratio of the ovals. And once again, if I show you here compared to a card front, it's the perfect size to make oval shaped cards. That's what I like to do. I like to make sure that there's a nice big die in there. Yay! So stitched ovals are going to be awesome as well. All right, let's dive in. There's some more in here. Okay guys, this was a really fun one to do. I love drawing little aliens and things, but I knew for sure that I wanted to have a moon because I've made many an alien card, I've made many a galaxy card, and I've always thought I really want a moon. And this moon is a perfect semicircle. So what that means for you is you can stamp it this way, and then you can turn it this way and stamp it again and have a perfect circular moon. We've left the inside fairly blank so that you can put a sentiment right in the middle. But if you want to just not have a sentiment, there are little craters here that you can fill in that space, or just use a pen to add some more dots, which is really fun. We have 3 cute little aliens. They're not at all dangerous or intimidating. They're very sweet. and I had to include a UFO. Now here was my dilemma. I had two very similar size aliens and then one that was too tall. And I thought, well, we can solve that, because in real life you would just have different heights of a bubble. So that's exactly what I did. I have a separate bubble and a separate base for our UFO, and let me show you what you can do with that. So here I have stamped the base, stamped the bubble, and then the alien, and then all you do is you layer up the bubble, you put it behind the base, and make it the perfect size for what you want it to be. Let me show you this fun little interactive card. How cool is that? And this circle was cut with the stitch circles. Now, the other thing I wanted to draw attention to in my dies here, once again, you can cut this for the semicircle, turn it round and cut it the other way. But you know me and my interactive cards and my light up cards. I knew that I would want to have a little hole in these lights so I could put some lights behind it. So originally I just added a tiny little hole here. Can you see? So it's a tiny die that I'm sure is going to get lost. But you could use that to cut a hole in any card if you wanted to have a light behind it. Now, I also thought, well, it would be much easier if I could cut them all out at once, but it is an optional thing. And this is what I came up with. So I have got a plate in here. It is connected at the top here, like you see. And if you use this die as is, with the plate and the outline connected, it will cut out the base like this with little holes perfectly aligned on the lights. If you don't want them to be cut out, you can just snip away that plate and set it to the side, but it is perfectly centered, as you can see here. So if you choose to snip it out and later want to come and use it, that choice is completely yours. So this stamp set is called You're Weird, which is actually probably my favorite name of a stamp set, because every time my daughter says you're weird, I go, thank you, because I think it's actually a compliment. Next up, another stamp set that was supposed to be part of this one, but sometimes you're designing a stamp set and it just won't all fit. And this one is called Spaced Out. Going back to those galaxy cards that I love to make, this just had to happen. We had to have some planets. Now, I have a sun and we have all of these different. We have a rocket and a little puff of smoke here so that you can add that behind the rocket. And then we also have an astronaut and some fun sentiments. Now, when I was putting together the dies for this one, I was thinking about the planets orbiting the sun, and I wanted to have a stitched skinny oval that you could put on your card to have like an orbit line. So you have that included here. And we also have a couple of these zoom trails that's going to look awesome with your little rocket, but then you can also use it for a myriad of other things as well. So this is called Spaced Out. And I have a stencil to show you next up. This is a stencil that we used at Junkie Fest, which is where I was last week. And this is called the Star Swirl stencil. My design team are going gaga over this stencil. They love it. And if I show you this card again, and you can have a little look at the background, that is the Star Swirl in action. I also have a card here. This is a card that we were making as part of a make and take at Junkie Fest. And we have the Star Swirl coming up here like this. But the really fun thing about the Star Swirl is that once you have inked it up like this, whoops, you can actually turn it slightly and ink up stars coming in these areas here. Now, I will recommend that you put a little bit of Heffy memo tape over the star in the center. Otherwise, the star in the center will have 10 points and not 5 points. But you get to play with that. So that's going to be a really popular one, really fun, I think. All right, what else have we got? I love putting little tiny hearts on my projects. Sometimes just a little teeny weeny one, but I like to have options and I like to give you versatility. So this die set is called Whole Lot of Hearts. And I have designed 4 different styles of hearts and have them in different sizes, so you can always have one that works for you. So where's that card? This one here. This is one of the hearts from the Whole Lot of Hearts die set. This one here, I believe. And it's perfect for any interactive cards if you want to press a button, like I've put here, the press here sentiment from Interactively Yours. We have attached each set together, but you can just go ahead and snip them apart, no problem at all. We've got what I call a standard heart, a fat heart, a primitive heart, and a wonky heart. That was my name for it anyway. Seeing as we're still pretty close to the Galaxy stamp sets, I wanted to talk about these. This is our stitched stars. Once again, you can see that we've got stitching on the inside and the outside line of our cut line. And the large one is big enough that it would create a beautiful card base. So those are our stitched stars. Whew, I already spoke about that one. Let's see what else I've got in here. Okay, so for our European friends, I hope you guys are going to love this, because sometimes people ask me if we're going to create stamp sets with sentiments in other languages, and I am not, and I speak French, but I am not a big linguist, so that's not something that we would do. But I did want to have a stamp set with hello in it, because actually one of the most common cards I think to make is just a generic card that says hello, hey, how are you, hi, that kind of thing. So we have a range of sentiments here. We've got hey, hi, hola, ciao, hello, bonjour, and g'day mate. Once again, because one of our design team members is in Australia. The fun thing about this one is that there are matching dies, and they have the internal cut lines for like the loops and things. And I have my bonjour right here, so you can see it in action. And that is heat embossed with white onto some pink cardstock. I think it really pops there. Yay, Paniel says, good to have you back. Congratulations on the fantastic new release. Yay, thank you. All right, seeing as I had this card out, I many companies out there that have gorgeous, realistic floral stamps, and I do not get joy in doodling realistic floral stamps. I'm more about the weird and wonderful and the funky and the whimsical. So I'm giving you my kind of floral stamps rather than realistic, because there's no way I could do it as well as some of those other companies out there. So this is Bloomin' Marvelous, and we've got a selection of solid images, and I wanted to make them so you can layer them in a way. So for example, this one here created the pink element here, and then this little guy was the yellow. You can stamp them and die cut them separately and layer them up in a way that I have done here, and just build it up whichever way you wish. Now, where is let me show you something that is really fun. Hopefully I put it in here. Yeah. For this guy here, we added the dots so you can stamp them right on top. But when I was creating the dies, we have a die to cut them out if you have them done separately. But what I really wanted was dies to cut out holes, so you have those little tiny apertures on there. So that's what this little guy is down here, and it's super hard to see. Hopefully you can see. And there's little notches at the bottom which will help you line it up with your stamped image. So let me show, I'm halfway through making a card here. Can you see? Can you see the holes on the little front? How fun is that? I think that's just absolutely gorgeous. I made a whoopsie here, but we'll just put a heart over it or something. So this one is called Bloomin' Marvelous, and it has coordinating dies as well. What else have we got in here? Let's have a look at some more stencils. Oh yes, we spoke about that one, and that one, and that one, and that one. Oh yes, let me show you this one, which works really well with the Happily Ever Crafter, because we were thinking about Rapunzel and palaces and towers, and we really had to include a brick wall. This is something that I actually really love to create, just for a little textured look on the background. So this is called Brick by Brick, and you will be able to create a fun brick wall texture. This looks awesome if you run it through your die cutting machine with an embossing tan mat. I promise you the texture is absolutely amazing. All right, what else have we got in here? Yeah, okay, this one here. So once again, if you were a fan of our cityscape stencil, you might want to check this one out, especially if you like our aliens and our little spaceman. This here is called Futuristic Skyline, and it's the same concept as our cityscape stencil, where you have these little connectors which will stabilize the stencil making process, and then so you have this silhouette line here. And then at the top we have the windows. So just like I mentioned before, you take your scissors and you snip away those connectors. So you have this area that you can slide a card right up inside like this. All right. And then you can ink up the background. And then if you actually put it this way, it'll cover the background and you can ink up the silhouetted buildings. Oh, I'm getting stuck. And then you flip it over and you add the windows to your buildings, which is really, really fun. So this is Futuristic Skyline. Hello. Yeah. This one has also been super popular and had to happen eventually because I am a hungry Heffy after all. This one is called Treat Yourself. And we have a selection of cholesterol-inducing treats here. Well, apart from the little watermelon, I guess that's probably the best thing that you've got here. And then we have got a hamburger, some fries, and a hot dog. And we have got the sentiment, oh my gosh, I am the best, because I always forget to send cards, so that had to go in there. So I created two different faces, one with a little which goes with our sentiment, and then a little smiley face in case you just wanted to use him for a different occasion without the sentiment. We've got also some sprinkles here that you can stamp on top of the ice cream or cotton candy. There we go. Thank you very much, Erica. You can put the sprinkles on here or on the little lolly. And then for the dies, we have this die which will cut out little tiny sprinkle holes. So you don't use it with the stamp, you just use that in a similar way to what we have here. You'll see the colors from behind popping through. So that is Treat Yourself. And we have this stencil called Pinstripe. It is a really fine stripe, and you're going to be able to use it to create beautiful tone-on-tone projects. I thought I had one, but I think I give it to Stacy. And you can also use it once this way, then turn it and go this way, so you have almost like a gingham effect. And you could also stencil like yellow and then move it over slightly and stencil pink, so you have pink and yellow stripes. So there's lots of options with this one. Really fun. That's called Pinstripe. And oh yes, this one. Aha! Another really fun one. This is called Sprinkled with Fun, and you get it. It has these little sprinkles all over it. This is perfect. I've used it with a tiny foam blender. You could use it with your pens. You could use it with your paint. Or if you have a small blending brush, you can see mine up here. I've got little small blending brushes. Then you can use that as well for some wonderful little sprinkles. My battery died. So we also have introduced another alphabet stamps set. So this one is called Rascal Alphabeters. Do any of you guys know what the other alphabet stamp set was called, and what was the name of it, and why it was called that? That's a little question for you. If you don't know, you'll have to find that out. This one's called Rascal. And we have more of this whimsical, more childlike style to it. And I really wanted to have dies to go along with it. I think that this is a great size for putting like names on a card, etc. I've got a card here that says Sophia on it. And I did that with some two-tone, using some yellow and some orange ink. I think it looks really fun. So this one is Rascal Alphabeters. And let's see what else we've got. We've looked at those ones. We're doing well. A couple more dies then that we need to speak about. Where's my mouse gone to, Craigie Bear? Because these are much easier to look like on a mirror. You guys have been asking for a hello die, and your wish is my command. So this is hello. I think that's another staple that you'll need to add to your stash. Here we have got a little collection. This is called Sun, Moon and Stars. So we have a circle with the stitches in it for a sun. And we also have this one here, which gives you the outline of the sun, so you can layer them up like I've done here. Can you see? We also have this die, which die cuts little rectangles, triangles all around the outside. It gives you a gorgeous effect. Let me show you what that does. So here on this card, I have die cut the sun, but it actually creates an aperture. Can you see? And then I've inked up the inside. It just gives that extra little element of fun. And this circle does fit in there if you wanted to do that, which is kind of fun. So this is Sun, Moon and Stars. We have the moon, and we also have 2 stars with some stitching in it. And I've created a trio of stars here as well that you can keep together, or you can snip apart. Now these ones were used to create these trios of stars on this card here. I'll just press this button again for those that missed it. This is from the Absolutely Awesome stamp set. Oh, flip me around, Craigie Bear. Mirror. Next up we have Sunshine. Awesome for the little duckies, or for any kind of summery card. Oh yes, this one is perfect for our fairies. This is Sparkle and Shine, and you can use them together, or you could use them separately, obviously. And I think we need to do a bright, so that we can have Shine Bright and Merry and Bright, things like that. I think that's what we need to do in our next release. Oh, I forgot about this one. This is Wedding, and it has that lovely, like, loopy style to it. In one of my cards here, actually, it's back to front at the moment, you'll see in a minute, it says I've combined it with Wishes from our previous release. And then we have Yay, because yay for new releases. Isn't that right, Craigie? And we have a exclamation mark on this, but you can snip that apart, but I actually quite like it together, but we want to give you guys the choice, so there's a little fine connector there holding that in place. So flip me around to the half and half, please. And I also wanted to mention that the Rescue Dogs is now available to buy. So last time we had a release, we gave you guys, if you placed a pre-order, you got the Rescue Dogs free with your order. And if you spend a certain amount, you had get the dies free as well. And that's what we do every time we have a release over at heffydoodle.com, is that when we have a release and you place a pre-order, then you can get a free stamp set and the opportunity to get free dies with purchase. Now, that stamp set, if you don't place an order at that time, then you can actually buy it at that time. On the next release, then it goes into our catalogue and people can then buy it. Sneaking that in. So the Rescue Dogs is now available to buy, and I know that a lot of you have been wanting to get your little paws on this. I've had people email me, please, 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 I want to buy it. So that is now available. And this time round, we have got the Hey There stamps that is free with a pre-order. So if you pre-order between now and the 10th, then you will get this absolutely free. The only caveat is that you need to include one item, at least one item, from our new release. If you go on there and you order something from older stock, it is not a pre-order, it is just an order. So you don't get it included. So you need to make sure that there's at least one item from the new release in there to trigger that freebie. So you'll get the Hey There, and if you spend more than £45, you will get the Hey There dies. Vanessa asks the question, how soon can we order? Pre-orders are now open, yay! So you can, of course, head on over to heffydoodle.com, have a little look at what you can see there, and you can place an order. The reason it says pre-orders is that we were waiting on our dies to arrive, and for me to get back from Junkie Fest, and also to recover from jet lag a little bit. So we promised to ship them by the 10th. However, I normally try to get them out before that, before release day. From if you want to buy from our retail partners, for example, Simon Says Stamps, Scrapbook.com, Ellen Hudson, Butterfly Reflections Inc., Bumbleberries, all of those wonderful places that stock Heffy Doodle. If you want to buy from them, the soonest you're going to be able to buy from them is the 10th of July. I think that needs to happen before my battery runs out again. All right, you guys, what is your favorite thing from the release? That's what I want to know. What is it that you really love? What is it that you would like to see me create with? Have you got any ideas, any suggestions for me tonight? That's what I want to know. Let me hear your comments. Hey, Cara, you're very welcome. Vanessa says, I need to go place my order then. Shabnese says, ooh, I love that. Yay. Yell says, love the stencils. Are these all new? Yes, ma'am. They are indeed. Vanessa says, Craig to the rescue. That's whenever you fixed my battery. Yay. Linda says, I haven't even put all my junky stuff away. I haven't either. I still have 2 suitcases in my hallway full of my dirty laundry. And I have got all my stash, my Junkie Fest stash of stuff that I brought home that I want to show you guys, but we needed to talk about the new release tonight. Do you want to come and play, Craigie? Okay. Would you mind showing us the Clyde stencil? Absolutely, I can do that. Fairy, says Olga. Love the stencils and the space stamp sets. The wedding set, the stencil for the alien. Oh, I did all. Duckies, duckies. Okay, great. Well, let's play with this one first of all, seeing as it was the first shout out. We could have clouds and aliens, I suppose, or we could have clouds and duckies. Sarah Louise says, I love a dad, but I need to get some money first. That's always the problem, isn't it? All right. What should we do? Shall we have, what color of clouds shall we have? Should we go for pink? Should we go for pink clouds? Why not? All right, let's grab this. I love the Pinstripe stencil, and the sun moon dies are great. Yeah, they are. They're so fun. Oh, we should use that. You said that on this stencil today. What are we doing? I mean, on this card today. Oh, man, it is hot in here. Ranger has been trying to dip into my Junkie Fest stash. He knows that there's fun things in there, so he's been trying to, he's been a bit cheeky. He's been trying to go in and steal something away. All right, so let's use our Clyde dies. So, I mean stencil. So when it comes like this. And you have these little connectors here, like I mentioned a little while ago. So you just take your scissors. I'm not actually going to snip it because this is my example one. You take your scissors in here and then you give that a little snip and you snip away the connectors so you have a little slot in there. Just like this one. So you can slide your card in and you can move it around. If you're obviously going this way, it's going to take up most of the room. And then you can ink it up. And then you can move it into the next one and ink it up again. And you can do it whichever way you wish. So let's do that. I'm going to go this way though. And I think we're going to go for pink because pink is fun. Now, one of the things that I got when I was away, I have been telling you guys about these blending brushes and how these are just from Amazon and that I didn't think that they were going to be very different at all. And this is the part where I have to eat my hat because when we were away, when I was at Junkie Fest, and if you don't know what Junkie Fest is, by the way, I should probably take a minute to explain what that is. There is a Facebook group called Stamp Junkies. And I think there's something like 30,000 people in a yearly event, retreat, I guess you want to say, where you can go and hang out with some stamp junkies. Some other people just like you, and that's what was happening last week. And so it was, I think it was Wednesday till Sunday, and I was away at that. So at Stamp Junkies, I spoke to Taylor from Taylor Expressions, and they have the most beautiful brushes that are colored handles and white bristles. And you know what? I fell in love with them, and they're far better than these. I love them. They're also exceedingly beautiful, and I'm a sucker for things like that. And so I completely eat my hat. Like here, I've just had a bristle fall out. Can you see that? There's a little line. You can't really see, but yes, I think hers are denser. So next week when I pull out all my junkie stuff, Junkie Fest things, I will let you guys have a little look because you are gonna love them. Now, as far as I'm aware, they are out of stock at the moment, but there is a waiting list to get them, to get some more in. They're selling like hotcakes, and like I'm not surprised because they are absolutely beautiful. All right, so you should have seen there that I inked up the bottom section of my card, and then I slid my card into this first slot, and I'm going to just hold this down and working with little circles over the stencil and to the edge of the paper. I'm adding my ink. Now this one I have split here, so that's why I'm holding it down on this side so it doesn't move out of the way. So you need to also bear that in mind if you're planning to snip them apart like I have done. So there we've got some clouds so far, and that was so easy. Easy peasy, easy peasy, easy peasy. Aunt Max is here. Hey Aunt Max. Duckies are an alien Ferris wheel. Did you see my alien Ferris wheel? Isn't it fun? This guy gets caught, but yay! Dee, 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 dee. It was really fun to do. Penny Owl says, my favourite impossible question. My bank manager isn't talking to me because I couldn't choose a favourite and had to buy most of the new release. Oh, darling, it happens. It happens. One more thing I want to talk about is that because these are all different shapes, to get even more versatility, you can flip the stencil. So for example, this one is quite bumpy here, But if I put it in, it's really close to this edge here. So I can move it up, but I'm just going to flip my stencil and put it like this. And then it kind of changes the stencil a little bit. Versatility! Has anybody gone and figured out what the name of our previous alphabet stamp was? Has anyone figured it out yet? So our other alphabet stamp set is called Jet Alphabeters. And what you may not know is that it was named after my pet, named after my dog, Jet, who was a black Labrador. So she was, in my opinion, she was plain black. She was nothing special. There was no like distinguishing features about her. She was just a very plain and simple, but very dependable and always there when you needed her. And that's what we were going for whenever we were making Jet Alphabeters. There's nothing fantastic and different about it, but it is a very beautiful, simple font that you'll be able to reach for again and again and again. So that was the thought behind Jet Alphabeters. And these alphabeters are called Rascal Alphabeters. And the Rascal Alphabeters are named after another one of my pets, my previous pets. It's named after one of my gerbils that I had whenever I was a child. We had two gerbils, Jack and Rascal, and they were brothers. And on the Heffy Doodle design team Facebook group, I said to everybody, hey, what does everybody have as pets? Give me your name suggestion for pets. We want to go with a third of a theme. And I said that I had Jack and Rascal, and the other names I give as well, other ones that we had in the past. And loads of people said Rascal is the perfect fit because it's a bit more of a childlike or whimsical font. Or I shouldn't say font because it's hand drawn. Whimsical style. Let me just grab some Heffy memo tape so I can mask off the top here. Oh, where would I find it? I think I give all of mine away. Like Junkie Fest. Oh no, empty. Well, I just have to do it the old-fashioned way. Not very glamorous. I'll have to do. It's not as easy either. All right, let's see. Donna says, I'm sitting with a fan on me. I know it is so warm. I'm actually really impressed that Ranger's in my room because he has been overheating to the max. Bless him. He's so fluffy, that's why. All right. So there you have it, guys. That was a really, really simple background. You saw how quick that was. Didn't even really think about it. And if you want to keep the sort of really white areas, then you can just leave it as is. If you want to blend it out, you can add a little bit more pink using your brush or your foam blending tool a little bit, just to take away that stark white look to the card. I actually really like it. I think it's really fun. What do you think? Yell says they are good and dye removes easily, so you can use one brush for different ink pads. Yes, Those are the like the Taylor Expression ones. Yes, very good. Aunt Max says, love it. Donna says the alien card is out of this world. Oh, Cara's off to meet for birthday dinner. Look forward to seeing the rest later. Yay! See you later. Enjoy your dinner. They are so fluffy indeed. Aunt Max says, did you get your bag back? So, for those of you who have not yet heard my little drama, I had a fun time because my bag got lost. Yes, sir. Yes, it did. So I flew to California, first of all, and I spent some time with one of my best friends growing up. And then I flew on a Tuesday from California to Minneapolis, Minnesota. And I don't have any Heffy tape. I'll have to use my purple tape. As I was gate checking my bag, as I was getting on the flight, they said that they were looking for people to gate check their hand luggage. And the lady in front of me, they also said that there was some people that were needing to swap places. So, or like get reassigned seats and things, families that needed to sit together. So if anybody was willing to swap seats, that they would want to know about that. So I was like, I am flying solo. It's only a couple of hours this flight. I don't care where I sit. I will go and help them out. So I go up to I get in the queue to speak to the guy. And the lady in front of me is giving him like hell, absolute hell, like the poor guy. And so she was saying that her kids needed to sit together or something like that. So by the time I got to the desk, I said to him, I can check my bag. You can take that. I don't mind. But also, if you need to move me, I'm happy to move. And he was like, oh, thank you so much. And I was like, yeah, no problem. And so then he went to gate check. He put like a sticker on my bag, and he struggled a bit because I think the printer had backed up a little bit. So I was just talking away to him, and he where's my thing? Here we go. He went to put the sticker on my bag, and he realized it wasn't the right one, and he was like, oh, wait a minute, and he printed out a few more things. Okay, cool. And then he says, are you sure you don't mind moving? I was like, yeah, absolutely, no problem. And he then was looking on his little thing, and he said, I'm trying to make sure you don't lose your aisle seat. And I was like, listen, dude, like, I really don't care. I don't mind where I sit. It doesn't have to be an aisle seat. He was like, really? Oh my gosh, that really, really helps me. It's like, yeah, like, whatever, I don't mind. And I'm like channeling lots of good juju into the world. And so then he prints a thing, went to put it on my bag, and when he went to put it on my bag, it like stuck to the board, the sticker bit stuck to the boarding card, and I was like, oh, I didn't like that. And I had a little laugh about it. Oh, this one hasn't been used before. Let me stamp that again. And I peeled it off like, ha ha ha. And then he went, oh, actually, boop, 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 boop. I've upgraded you to Comfort Plus. Thank you so much. So he said, you are in a middle seat, but you'll have a little bit more room. Thank you for being so accommodating. I was like, oh, that's so nice. And he put the thing on my bag. Happy days. And I went off feeling on cloud nine. Oh, I got an upgrade. got an upgrade. And so I got on the plane and I had an enjoyable trip. And then I get off and I go to collect my bag, and my purple big bag is off. Yeah, fantastic. But my little black bag, nowhere to be seen. And so I speak to people. Have you checked here? Have you checked there? Da 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 da. My bag is nowhere to be seen. And they say, fill out this form. And yeah, you need to fill out this form. It'll follow. They'll find it and they'll send it to you. Fill out your cell phone. I'm like, I don't have a cell phone that works. My phone only works on Wi-Fi, on like Facebook Messenger and things like that. But I'm not from America, so it doesn't work on that. So I put down the number of one of the ladies from Junkie Fest, Chris, and went on my way. La la la. As I arrive, I realize all my underwear and all my shoes are in my cabin bag. So obviously I was wearing my cowboy boots, which are a bit more cumbersome, but that was all I had. And so I went to Junkie Fest, no problem. She gets a message on her phone about 11 o'clock that night saying, your bag has been found. And so I go to reception. She's there, Chris, and I'm there. And I'm like, yeah, my bag's been found. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the concierge brings out this grey hard case bag. Note, my bag was a black soft shell bag. And so I'm like, ooh, that's not my bag. And so they look at the tag, and the tag on it says Lesley Oman. So the tag says my name, and which is why I got a text message to say, we found your bag. Oh man, it wasn't my bag. So we were on hold for about an hour, up to midnight, and then we just couldn't hack it any longer. We went to bed, and we then the next morning we had a little bit of time, and we went downstairs and we thought, we'll look in the bag. So we look in the bag, and right inside the bag, there's a passport. There's a passport of this little Chinese lady and a global entry card. And I'm thinking, I lost underwear and shoes, but she lost her passport. So, as any self-respecting person would do, you go to social media. And I did a little post, a picture of her bag, and I found her profile picture was pretty much exactly the same as her picture on her passport, which was handy. And I messaged, I said, at whatever, I think I've got your bag, phone us. So she phoned the hotel. Oops, this one's not right. Of course, she was like the most grateful person I've ever met. And I said, do you have my bag? No such luck. So we spoke to her for a bit and made arrangements to FedEx her passport to her. And then Delta came and picked up her bag. We just couldn't get hold of anyone in order to get answers about my bag. And I think that was the most frustrating thing, is that I was at an event and I didn't have much downtime. And anytime I tried to make a phone call, it was always either on hold, or this really got me. I think it was on the Friday that I phoned, and then someone would pick up and they would go, hello. I go, hello, thank you, please help me. Hello. And then they hung up. And I phoned from my hotel room, the reception, the concierge desk, a random stranger's cell phone, because by this point I was about ready to cry, and the concierge's cell phone. And the concierge says that he thinks that they're just faking it. I don't know. But anyway, so we've managed to get hold of them. And the, my paper. I just smudged my paper. Oh no. Let's try that again. We managed to get hold of someone, and I was on hold for about 3 hours on Friday morning. Let me just mention, had to go with random strangers to buy myself underwear. But that was all part of the adventure. Chris, who heads up Junkie Fest, let me borrow her trainers. She's a sweetheart. Let's try this again. And on Friday, when I managed to speak to them, their answer was, we have no idea where your bag is. We don't even know if it's in the United States of America. Fun. So at that point, I thought to myself, well, there's no chance that I'm going to get it before I go home on Sunday. And alas, I was right. All right, I smudged my ink because I was telling a story. So I'm going to try these again. Try this again. So no, I haven't got my, I haven't had my bag back. And then on Sunday, Candy, bless her, hola, she took me to Target and TJ Maxx, and we managed to find me a case to buy. Because that's the thing, like, they're like, well, you know, buy trainers, buy a jacket, and buy things to replace what you've lost, like even a suitcase. Like, well, I don't want to buy just the first one that you see. That's not how I do my shopping, you know. Donna says maybe it's somewhere in Beijing. It's funny because when I was in the airport, I was talking to Craig on the phone, and over the tannoy it was talking about people to Tokyo. So it could be in Japan. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. I think part of the problem is that my name was on somebody else's bag. So either my bag had no name, or it had someone else's name, but we don't know whose. What a palaver. All right, I didn't smudge them this time. Yay! So I have my cute little ladies here. Let's see if I can get them colored in, or if my Copics have dried up beyond into oblivion because it's so warm in here. Let's see what we've got. We'll go for a little YR00 for skin. I'm just going to go for some basic coloring today. I'm not even going to really shade a lot, because as Laura said when she popped on earlier, she's still suffering from jet lag, and I too still am. Yesterday I was feeling pretty rough, and I went to lie down at 5 p.m. and then I woke up at 11 p.m. and then I stayed awake till about midnight, and then went back to sleep. Still feeling tired. But I think that was mostly because of on the way home, this is another adventure story. On the way home on Sunday, my flight was at 6:30, something like that. 6:15, 6:30. And we arrived at the airport, and they said, the reason that you're not getting loaded on is because it's really warm in the aircraft. So the captain is trying to cool it down before we board everyone. We're like, oh, that's nice. And then the lady came back on the tannoy saying, I would have expected you to be boarding by now, so I'm not really buying their comment about it being really warm. I think maybe there's something else wrong. I'll keep you in the loop. I'll keep asking. And then she comes back saying, guys, I'm so sorry, but there seems to be a problem with the aircraft. We're going to have to we're going to have to swap out the aircraft, so there's going to be a delay of 1.5 hours. And of course my connecting flight was in like 2 hours or something. So by the time we got on to the aircraft, it and we landed. I landed in time, and then I ran. They actually said, everybody who has a connecting, please stand up, and everybody who doesn't have a connecting, please stay seated. And very kindly, that seemed to happen, surprisingly, should I say. And I ran and ran and ran and ran and ran. Where's my, not quite the right colour. But alas, I did not make it. The gate was closed, but my aircraft was still outside. I'm like, no! So sad. After running the whole length, and my throat's raspy. Like, I can't even talk because... Oh dear, I totally just lay down on the ground and had my own little pity party. The sweet lady from Delta was like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'll be fine. I said, I'm going to London. She was like, oh honey, that gate's just closed 2 minutes ago. They held on as long as they could. So sad. All right, hopefully you can see me what I'm doing here. Adding I'm not really sure why, but hey ho. Sand castle. Once again, I'm just going to go for a flat color on these guys. Have a more cartoony look. But I will give them different colored hair. That was Sandcastle, and this one is brown sugar. So we'll go for brown sugar on this little lady. They blend so beautiful, those Nouveau ones. And then I feel like I want a sandy color. Yeah, with this one, a little blondie, which is Y21. Snowy Spludges says, good to have you back on a Friday evening. Hazel, I saw your pre-order as well. Thank you so much for it. Let's get this little crown on the go. And then we want our moon. For the moon, I'm not going to go right up to the edge. I'm going to leave a little bit white line, just because. And for my clouds, I actually think I might go for a pink shadow, seeing as we have pink clouds. Don't you just love it whenever it's like a red sky at night? Red sky at night, shepherd's delight. Red sky in the morning, shepherd's warning. Whenever you see a little red sky and it looks pink. Piper used to call that the candy floss sky. I love it. And I'm gonna go for a purple, no, a blue toothbrush maybe. And a little bag. Which is where she keeps all her teeth, obviously. Not her teeth, but the teeth that she collects. Snowy Spludges says, I couldn't choose a favourite set, so I had to buy two. Never mind. Oh well, it's nearly the summer. You get to play with them. So what did you buy? Is anybody going to share what they splurged on? Instead of snowy splodges, it should be crafty splurges. Yels is off to bed. Up so early to make the most of my last day by the seaside. Oh, lovely. How are we doing? Let's press this button so that we're not going to be too late. All right, and we're going to cut these out with the coordinating dies. And I'll need to be super careful because I only have purple tape and washi tape here. I shall have to go in and take some memo tape out of my inventory. I always have to be careful with purple tape. If you go over the actual coloured image, it can sometimes pull it. Snowy Splodges says, I bought the alien set and the foodie one plus the heart stencil. Yay! Was it the scribble on my heart or the steady heart or foil? Oh, I cannot wait. Night, night, Yels. Candy and I were totally intending on having a impromptu come craft with me last week, but it was right in the middle of one of the classes that we were doing, so it didn't work out, unfortunately. That would have been so fun. Let's do the toothbrush and then I'll run it through my die cutting machine. The toothpaste. So in my cabin bag, sad indeed. Yes, I lost underwear, and yes, indeed, I lost shoes. But I also lost about 30 stamp sets. Luckily, Heffy Doodle stamp sets, so I can just pull them off the shelves. But I also lost my baby blue. You guys know how much I love my baby blue die cutting machine, and they don't make them anymore, which is super sad. So yeah, I'm on the lookout. Stacy from Scrapmania, and if you haven't checked out Scrapmania, you're going to want to do that because she has lots of fun things on her website. And she's got a cruise coming up for next year, so plenty of time to save your pennies. And it's going to be amazing. I think it's to Alaska, is that right? So Stacy from Scrapmania says she's going to check her storeroom to see if she's got any in her stock room. Zoe Snowy Splodges says, I think it was a random heart pattern. Still on mat leave, so I'm managing to sneak a bit of crafting in every day. Just finished 10 cards. Wow, that's not a bit, that's a lot. Wow. Fantastic. With your Christmas kit. Yes, we've seen a few people purchasing some Christmas kits this week. Must be that time of year again. Christmas in July. Right, we're getting a little stash of cute little ladies here. Let's see. Is that her? Yeah. And a little tooth. this. Oh, Mexico, Jamaica, and Cayman Islands. Wow. Okay, yeah. Are you going to go, Candy? I think you are. Aunt Max says, I was wondering why you were cutting electric tonight. So sad. Baby Blue was cool. He was more than cool. He was like the best little guy. We also lost another little guy last week, which I hadn't intended to talk about because I might just cry. But while I was away, Fiskars got really ill. And unfortunately, we had to say goodbye to him last week. So, may his little furry soul rest in peace. But he was well loved. Absolutely well loved little thing. Ooh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to move swiftly along before I start crying. Okay, thanks. I'm going to use this little trio. Really fun to have Haley there. Let's see. Gonna do some random little star apertures using the sun, moon, and stars, does it? Oh, please don't rip my card, purple tape. Thank you. Try it again. Oh, thank you for all the love and messages about Fiskars. Yeah. He an accidental little star there. Yeah, he really wasn't well at the end. So on top of dealing with lost luggage and being on hold with Delta and not enough sleep, and missing Craigie and Piper and all sorts. As fun as Junkie Fest was, I wish it was our home for that. All right, one more here, just for fun. Oops. Nice, all right. Put this little guy back in. So now we have a really fun card front. Now, I want to build up my cute little ladies all the way around. And I think I'm going to put this guy in behind so it looks like she's holding it. Maybe a crown on here. Let's see. Maybe this one can hold the bag. And this one can have the wand. All right, let's stick them down. This is actually something that I pulled out. It's Brutus Monroe glue, and I had never experienced Glutus Monroe. How funny! I am tired. Brutus Monroe glue before, and I am loving this. It flows really nicely, and I love the little pot that it's in. And oh, I have got something else really fun to show you guys next week, a glue holder. I can't wait to show you guys. Put that in there. Put this little lady down here somewhere. Just kind of covering up the holes I just made, but hey ho, so be it. And I only want some glue on her legs because I don't want it to stick to the inside of that oval, or I won't be able to open my card. And then I'll just add these little guys down here for extra fun. Can't believe Ranger's still in here. It's 29 degrees now. I think we'll have to call it a day after this one because I am hot, hot, hot. Awesome. So cool. So there we go. Let's zoom in on this little guy so you can take a closer look. That was using the, what's it called? Clyde Stencil, the absolutely awesome stamp set and coordinating dies, and the stitched ovals as well. And you can see that, oh yeah, and I also used the sun, moon, and stars to create the little tiny star apertures there. And then we have the inside there, see? I love it. Yay! I just love the impact of those clouds. Hopefully you guys do too. All right, I plan to do some more videos, whether it be on YouTube or whether it will be on Instagram or over on our Facebook group called Heffy Doodlers. I'm not sure, I might just bounce around a little bit, but please do check us out, and hopefully we'll get to play with some more. I need to play with those duckies because you guys were wanting those duckies, and also the Pinstripe stencil because I think you're gonna love it so much. Yeah, that'd be amazing. These I think are my favorite out of the whole release in regards to stamps, but yeah, I am really enjoying them. So please, please, please hop on over to heffydoodle.com, place your pre-order and get your free Hey There stamp set. If your order is over £45, you'll get your free die as well. It's that simple. If you have any questions at all, please do reach out, and I hope that you will help me spread the word about this new release. And as for me, I'm going to treat myself to an early night at 11 p.m. which is pretty much as early as it comes for me. Thank you so much for joining me, and check out the new release. I shall see you guys pretty soon. Thank you for all your comments. Goodbye, everybody. Bye-bye.